So I have all these symptoms and they may be being caused by food sensitivities. But how in the world am I supposed to determine what foods are causing these symptoms? Well, that's why we're here today. Hi, I'm Coach Bev, or Beverly Schlag from beverlyschlag.com, and I want to help you if you're dealing with symptoms like fatigue or brain fog or maybe irritable bowel, and you've noticed that there's just something not right and you want to know what is possibly causing it. I want to help you along your elimination plan. So first off, I do want to say that if you are having reactions like anaphylaxis or hives or scratchy throat, I want you to take that to your physician because there very well may be an allergy there that needs a very specific plan in place to help you. But today, I'm going to share with those of you who may be struggling with things like, well, irritable bowel or eczema or rosacea or something along that lines, whether it be skin or gut or bloating, but those types of things that tend to be more food related. So I have actually been on an elimination plan with my son. With my younger son, he is 10 years old and we started it when he was 5. He was dealing with eczema very badly and he was also very hyperactive. Our elimination plan was not concise. It was not really very well planned. It was more like throwing darts at a board. We first started by eliminating like food dyes and food additives and processed sugars and dairy. And we did see positive results from that. But we knew that there was more. I mean, he still had some residual things going on. So we then turned to a carbohydrate intolerance plan. And that basically, carbohydrates have, some are more difficult to digest than others. So in this plan, those that were more difficult to digest, we removed those along with what we had already done previously. So when we did that, we also saw benefits there, but then we knew that there needed to be more, and it took all the way until we got a test done and they proved that it was gluten, that gluten was an issue. We removed gluten and we removed pretty much all sugars altogether, except for fruit sugars that were naturally occurring in foods like that. But we removed all that, and then the eczema disappeared and his behavior, his hyperactivity was much better. So it definitely worked. Well, so our plan was not concise. And there are many plans out there, from extremely intense to not as intense. But they all have kind of the same type of theme to them, where you eliminate a certain type of food and then you go about that for a certain amount of time and then you begin to add it back in. Well, so today, instead of doing one of the larger ones where it's like you remove 8 to plus food group types and you have to do that for 21 days or whatever it may be, and which is great, but when you do that, it's very difficult for most people to be able to maintain that, because we're creatures of habit, and it's a hard habit to break like every single thing, so that's why starting with something maybe a little bit less intense would be a good route. Unless you feel that you need something that intense, then go for a full elimination diet. And there are steps down from that full elimination. There's an easy elimination diet, but today I'm going to go over a more even simple diet. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to eliminate gluten, dairy, eggs, soy, fast food, and alcohol. And you're going to eliminate them for 23 days. Why 23 days? I just said 21 days was the normal. Well, okay. So It takes the body about 21 days to get rid of the antibodies or turn over the antibodies that are produced from, or the proteins, the antibodies are proteins that are produced from the immune system's reaction to the foods that your body has a hard time digesting. So it takes the body that long to turn those over and to get rid of them and to detox them. So you're going to remove those all for 23 days. And then at that point, you will add in only one of the items back. And I don't mean like you're going to eat, bread and pasta and all that all in one day. No, I mean like you can have a piece of bread and you will see within 48 hours if you have had any type of reaction. Now, the really important part is while you're going through this time frame that you are documenting. Document where you started from. Are you feeling tired? Are you bloated? Are you getting an upset tummy when you eat? Are you getting headaches? Do you have acne? Where do you have acne? Document all this information. How your mood is. Are you happy? Are you sad? And then as you go through the 21 days of the detox, also document how you're feeling. And document once you begin to add things back in. Okay, I'm still feeling like this, or this is different. Write it down, because you cannot really expect to remember exactly how you were feeling, and it really helps to have it written down for you. Okay, then as you do that, after 48 hours, after you've added the one thing back in, if you did not have a reaction, you can either keep that in there, or if it really wasn't that important, then you won't. If you did have a reaction, you may have to face the reality that that might be something that you're sensitive to. Another thing is, what would you be eating over those 21 days? And then while you're slowly adding stuff back in, you're going to want to eat basically 30% of your food will be like clean proteins, like grass-fed, lean beefs, chicken, fish, shellfish, and then 70% of it needs to be vegetables and legumes and nuts and seeds and grains that are free of gluten, like quinoa. And you need to be careful of oats, because a lot of oats have gluten. So make sure if you are doing oats, make sure it's a gluten-free oat. And you will want to steer clear of the processed foods, like even a processed health bar. There is a lot of sugar in those, generally speaking. So you need to be careful with that, because we're eliminating alcohol because of the fact that alcohol, it will help with the detox process, but also it is very high in sugar, and that sugar helps with a yeast and bacteria growth that is unhealthy for your gut. So we're trying to eliminate the large amounts of processed sugars in your body. So you will want to steer clear of that. And also the gluten-free items that, like gluten-free crackers and cereals and breads, you don't really want to dive into going that direction either, because a lot of times there's a lot of stuff in those additives that don't make it very much better. I mean, you can have them on a very occasion, but I would not rely on them to be your main source of food when you're on these 21 days and then when you start adding stuff back in. But basically, you just need to keep documenting how you're feeling along that entire journey. And when you're done, you will find that there's something, whether it be dairy or whether it be eggs, and sometimes it's the egg yolks versus the egg whites. Sometimes you are able to have yogurt, but you cannot have milk because your body reacts to one or the other. But you just need to make sure that when you're adding those things back in, it's one, and you only eat that one thing, and then you let yourself rest for 48 hours. And until, of course, you eat the rest of your food the rest of the day, but you don't eat anything else new within that 48 hours to determine whether or not there's any type of reaction. Okay, well, so that is a more simple elimination plan for you to start on. And tomorrow I will be coming back with information on if this elimination plan is just not for you. You need to know more specifics. You need a test. So I'm going to go over like some of the tests that are available and how accurate they are and whatnot. So I hope this helps you guys, and please feel free to share this with anyone else that may be struggling with fatigue or brain fog or anxiety, depression, moodiness, things that could be being triggered by what they're eating, and help them along their journey. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. And this is Beverly Schlag from BeverlySchlag.com. I'll talk to you later. Bye.